December 2024, and a young couple in Phoenix, Arizona just closed on their first home. A modest 3-bedroom house listed at $400,000. They put down 20%. $80,000 scraped together from years of saving, wedding gifts from relatives, and a small inheritance from a grandmother. They signed a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage for $320,000 at 7% interest. And they're celebrating with champagne because they finally own a home. Except they don't own anything. Here's what they actually signed up for over the next 30 years. They will pay the bank $676,000 for a house worth $400,000. That's not a typo. They will pay the bank more than 1.6 times the purchase price of the home in interest alone. That's over $350,000. For the first 10 years of payments, almost 70% of every monthly payment goes straight to the bank as interest, barely touching the principal balance. The bank owns them for 30 years. And if they miss more than a few payments, the bank takes the house back and keeps all the money. This is the modern version of serfdom, and it's not a conspiracy theory. It's basic mathematics that nobody explains when you're signing the paperwork. Let's rewind to understand how we got here, because the trap was set decades ago and most people never see it coming to this day. After World War II, the United States government promoted homeownership as the cornerstone of the American dream through programs like the GI Bill and federally backed mortgages. The idea was beautiful, stable communities, wealth building through equity, families putting down roots, and the promise that hard work equals ownership of real property. By the 1,950 seconds and 1,960 seconds, the 30-year mortgage became standardized, which made homes affordable through monthly payments instead of requiring full cash purchases up front. Homeownership rates in the United States peaked around 69% in 2004, creating the illusion that most Americans were building wealth through real estate. But here's what changed. Home prices began growing faster than wages, starting in the 1,980 seconds. And the gap has widened exponentially ever since then. In 1980, the median home price in America was approximately $64,000, while the median household income was about $21,000 annually. That's a ratio of roughly 3 to 1, meaning the median home cost 3 times the median household's annual income, which was actually quite affordable. By 2024, the median home price has exploded to approximately $417,000. While median household income has only reached about $75,000, that's now a ratio of 5.5 to 1, meaning homes cost nearly twice as much relative to income compared to 40 years ago. And that's the national median. In cities like San Francisco, Seattle, or Boston, that ratio can reach 10 to 1 or even higher for average homes. This means younger generations need to borrow far more relative to their income, which translates to significantly longer debt servitude to banks and financial institutions. Now let me show you exactly how the mortgage trap works using real numbers from our Phoenix couple, because the devil is always in the details. $320,000 loan at 7% interest over 30 years equals a monthly payment of approximately $2,129. Over 30 years, that's 360 monthly payments, which totals $766,440 paid to the bank over the life. Subtract the original $320,000 principal, and you discover they paid $446,440 in pure interest to the bank. That interest payment is 39% more than the original price of the entire house, meaning they bought the house twice, once for themselves and once for the bank. In the first year alone, out of $25,548 in total payments, only $3,312 reduces the actual principal balance. That means 87% of year one payments are pure profit for the bank, while the homeowners barely make a dent in what they actually owe. It takes approximately 19 years before the monthly payment splits 50-50 between principal and interest, meaning half the mortgage term, just servicing debt. And here's the part that should terrify you during those 30 years. The bank can repossess your home if you miss just 3 to 6 months of payments. They take the house, keep all the money you've already paid them, sell the property at auction, and you walk away with nothing except destroyed credit. You spent years paying them, maybe tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they keep both the money and the asset. It's legal theft. This is not ownership. This is indentured servitude with extra steps. And the banking system has been optimized to extract maximum wealth from the middle class. But mortgages are just the beginning of the shift from ownership to perpetual rental. And corporations have found a way to apply this model to everything. 20 years ago, you bought Microsoft Office once for $300 and owned it forever. Same with Adobe Photoshop. You paid and you owned. Today, those same companies charge you $70 to $600 per year in perpetual subscriptions. Stop paying, and you lose access to everything immediately. BMW tried charging $18 per month to unlock heated seats already installed in your car. Mercedes wants $1,299 annually for hands-free driving features. The pattern is clear. Everything you used to buy once and own is being converted into a monthly fee you pay forever with zero equity. The global car subscription market alone is projected to grow from $6.6 billion in 2024 to $89 billion by 2033. That's a 33% annual growth. But cars and software are just the testing ground. The real target has always been housing. And that's where the crime becomes truly devastating to families. After the 2008 financial crisis, Wall Street discovered that American homes could be bought in bulk, converted to rentals, and operated like stocks or bonds. Private equity firms realized they could use cheap borrowed money to buy thousands of homes, create monopoly pricing power, and extract rents from families forever. Blackstone became the third largest institutional owner of single-family rental homes when it acquired 37,000 homes in a single deal worth $3.5 billion. The top 10 institutional investors collectively owned more than 430,000 single-family rental homes at the end of 2023, and they're still buying more. These firms purchased between 1,500 to 3,500 homes per month in 2023, paying all cash and outbidding regular families who need mortgages to compete. Here's the projection that should make your blood run cold by 2030. Institutional investors may control 40% of all single-family rentals in America. That's 7.6 million homes transitioning from potential owner-occupied properties to permanent rental stock controlled by Wall Street algorithms optimizing for maximum profit extraction. And the numbers prove this isn't theoretical. It's already happening in real time across Sunbelt markets where these firms concentrated their purchasing power. Between January 2020 and January 2023, rents for two-bedroom homes increased 44% in Tampa, 43% in Phoenix, 35% in Atlanta. These are exactly the markets where institutional investors own thousands of properties. And when one company owns 5,000 homes in one city, they control pricing. They can coordinate rent increases across their entire portfolio. And individual renters have zero negotiating power because alternatives are owned by the same firms or competitors. Corporate landlords optimize differently than small landlords' maximum allowable rent increases. Aggressive evictions, reduced maintenance spending, systematic fee extraction from trapped tenants with nowhere else. This is monopoly capitalism applied to the most basic human need, shelter. And it's transforming homeownership from achievable goal to impossible dream for entire generations. The Federal Reserve's policies have dramatically accelerated the transfer of housing from individuals to institutions. And the mechanism is brutally simple and effective. From 2008 to 2022, the Fed kept interest rates near zero, making it incredibly cheap for Wall Street to borrow billions and buy assets like homes. Institutional investors could borrow at 1 or 2%, while ordinary people still paid 5, 6, 7% or more on mortgages, creating an unfair advantage. This allowed firms to leverage cheap money to buy thousands of homes and drive prices up, while simultaneously making those assets unaffordable for regular wage-earning buyers. Then in 2022 and 2023, the Fed rapidly raised rates to fight inflation, which made new mortgages extremely expensive at 7 to 8% interest. Monthly mortgage payments doubled overnight from what they would have been at 3% rates, completely locking would-be homebuyers out of the market mathematically. Meanwhile, existing owners who locked in 2 or 3% mortgages during the pandemic are incentivized never to sell because they can't afford to buy again. This creates a lock-in effect where inventory doesn't turn over. New buyers can't enter. And the only option is renting from institutions that bought everything with cheap money. It's a perfect wealth extraction mechanism designed to transfer assets from the middle class to financial institutions over a single generation of deliberately engineered market conditions. You may have heard the phrase, "You'll own nothing and you'll be happy," attributed to predictions about the future from global economic forums and think tanks. Whether that was meant as warning or blueprint doesn't matter anymore, because corporations and institutions are making it reality through actions, not words or essays. The subscription economy growing from billions to hundreds of billions. Wall Street buying hundreds of thousands of homes. Home ownership rates falling for younger generations. This is happening now. Millennials and Gen Z have home ownership rates of approximately 37% compared to 45% for previous generations at the same age before 2008. This isn't happening by accident or natural market forces. It's the result of deliberate policy choices and financial engineering that systematically benefits existing asset owners. The data doesn't lie: institutional ownership rising, subscription models proliferating, affordability collapsing, and wealth concentrating at the top while the middle class disappears into permanent renting. Here's the brutal reality we're facing. In 2025, we're witnessing the reconstruction of feudalism with a modern financial veneer that makes it appear voluntary and efficient. In medieval feudalism, lords owned the land, and serfs worked that land in exchange for the right to live on it and keep a portion of what they produced. Serfs couldn't own property, couldn't leave without permission, and their children inherited the same status, creating a permanent underclass without economic mobility or security. The modern version works exactly the same way, except instead of nobles, we have institutional investors, asset managers, and banks as the new lords controlling property. Instead of serfs tied to the land by law, we have renters tied to monthly payments with no equity accumulation, perpetually one layoff away from homelessness. The subscription economy ensures you never build wealth through ownership. You just pay perpetual tribute to access basic necessities you used to be able to buy. Your car is a subscription. Your software is a subscription. Your entertainment is a subscription. And increasingly, your home is a subscription with zero path to ownership. When you rent everything and own nothing, you have no collateral, no asset to pass to your children, no security beyond your next paycheck. This creates a new class system: those who own assets and collect rents, and those who pay rents perpetually without ever building equity or wealth. The middle class, historically defined by property ownership and intergenerational wealth transfer, is being systematically eliminated through this financial engineering of everything into rentals. Let me put this in real numbers for a typical person in 2025 to show you exactly how much wealth is being extracted over a lifetime. Average monthly rent for a two-bedroom apartment in a mid-sized American city is approximately $1,900 as of 2024, and rising 3% annually. Over 30 years, with 3% annual increases factored in. That lifetime rental payment climbs to approximately $900,000 with absolutely nothing to show. Compare that to a mortgage where after 30 years you own a $400,000 asset. Even after paying double in interest, you at least have something. But increasingly, people can't qualify for mortgages because home prices have outpaced income growth so dramatically that the debt-to-income ratios don't work mathematically. So people are forced into the rental trap where they pay the same amount or more than a mortgage would cost, but never build any equity. And then there's subscriptions on top of rent. The average American household now pays approximately $600 monthly across various subscription services over a 30-year working lifetime. That's $216,000 paid for access to things previous generations purchased once and owned outright forever. Add it all together, $900,000 in rent, $216,000 in subscriptions. Over $1 million transferred to corporations with zero assets accumulated. Here's where this leads. If current trends continue, unchecked, a society with two distinct classes and no possibility of upward mobility between them. Class 1. The asset owners, institutional investors, private equity firms, ultra-wealthy individuals who own real estate, companies, intellectual property, and collect rents from everything. Class 2. The subscribers, everyone else who rents their home, subscribes to their car, pays for software access, and owns nothing with transferable value. Your children can't inherit your Netflix subscription, your leased car, or your rented apartment. So they start from zero just like you did. Meanwhile, the children of asset owners inherit portfolios of rental properties, stock holdings, business equity, perpetuating and expanding wealth across generations through compound returns. This is feudalism. The same system humanity spent centuries fighting to escape from through property rights, democracy, and equal opportunity under law for all citizens. The shift from ownership to perpetual rental isn't a conspiracy theory from internet forums. It's the observable reality of current economic and financial policy trajectories. The mortgage system is designed to extract maximum interest from borrowers while maintaining the threat of repossession, creating 30 years of debt servitude to banks. The subscription economy is deliberately replacing ownership with access. ensuring that individuals never accumulate assets with transferable value to future generations or anyone else. Institutional investors are systematically buying housing stock and converting it to permanent rentals. With projections showing 40% control of single-family rentals by 2030, interest rate policies favored asset owners with cheap leverage while making mortgages unaffordable for wage earners, accelerating wealth concentration at the top exponentially and systematically. The most personal fear every family has, losing their home and security, has been weaponized into a business model by financial institutions globally. By 2030, if current trends continue, the divide between those who own assets and those who rent everything becomes permanent, insurmountable, and generationally entrenched. The middle class, once the backbone of stable democracies and economic growth, will be a historical footnote in the transition to modern feudalism. But here's what they don't want you to know. The trap only works if you don't see it. And awareness is the first step to resistance. The cage is being built around you right now, bar by bar, subscription by subscription, rent increase by rent increase. And most people don't notice. Some of you watching this are already trapped, paying rent that will never build equity, subscriptions that will never create ownership. Stuck in the cycle, others are on the edge, trying to figure out how to break into home ownership before prices rise even further beyond reach and the door closes forever. And a few of you have found ways around it. Unconventional strategies, sacrifices, loopholes, or opportunities that others missed in the chaos and confusion. So here's my question to you, and I want you to answer honestly in the comments because this conversation matters more than you realize right now. Are you going to keep renting and subscribing? Accepting your place as a permanent serf in the new feudalism that's being constructed around you? Or have you found a strategy to break the cycle? Buy assets, build equity, and escape the trap before it's too late. Tell me your plan in the comments. Whether you're stuck, fighting your way out, or already free. Because we need to learn from each other. The system is designed to keep us isolated, competing, silent about our struggles. But that silence is how they win, and we lose everything. Drop your strategy below. Let's break the algorithm and show people that resistance is still possible, even as the walls close in around us.